Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 198. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy. What's up, y'all?
Back in the building. Another beautiful Tuesday and another episode on our road to 200.
Yes.
We're going to talk to you about it a little bit more later, but I hope you guys saw some of our social media posts about episode 200. We're really looking forward to that and really want to put together something special for that. So appreciate all the likes, comments, support that you give along the way. That's the reason why we got to where we're at now. So with that being said, Strizzy, how you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling horrible. No, I was just playing, man. It's one of them things where it's like, you never really expected them to beat the Nuggets, which we'll get into shortly.
Yeah.
But like, you still had hope because they were there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're there, they made it. You hope for the best, but it's a good Nuggets team, man. It's a really, really it's a solid Nuggets team.
Yeah. No, most definitely. And after the first two games when we met last week, it was 1-1, and didn't really know what to expect from there. Thought maybe the Heat, could hang in there, but after what happened in Miami, I think we kind of both expected last night to be the ending. But we'll get into a little bit more of that. Now we're officially though in the dog days of summer. Only baseball going on actively. Still got some golf, a little bit of tennis here and there, but hockey is getting ready to wrap up tonight. No football and no basketball. So we're going to have a lot of other type of things that we can bring to the table for sure. But appreciate you guys rocking with us. Let's go ahead and welcome in some slackers. We got moms. Happy Tuesday, moms. We got Pops in the building. Good evening. Anthony Weston as well. Good evening. Thank you for being here. And Anthony Weston says, Strizzy, thanks for the workout tips. Went with chest today. Definitely will be sore tomorrow. Oh, that's what's up. So you've been doing your thing out there?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny. Everyone hit me up lately, you know what I'm saying? But I love it, man. That's what I love to do. Honestly, if it was a little bit more reliable financially, I'd do it full time. You know what I'm saying? But
for sure.
It is what it is. If I can help out my family, you know what I'm saying? That's free all day. So, man, saying I love to see it, man. If I can see y'all get healthier and go on that road to feeling better, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? That's love.
That's what's up. I definitely appreciate that. We also got Grace in the building. Welcome, Grace. Thank you for being here and rocking with us. And also Kelly Williams as well. Happy Tuesday. So that's what's up. We got all of the friends and fam aboard. And yeah, I do have to say before we get going, fam, you're looking swole, man. We got together to do our videos and stuff. You're looking really good. So keep up. I know you've been going hard for a long time. You've always been, since I've known you, a fitness buff. But you know what I'm saying? I was like, dang, man, I'm going to have to, I have to get myself together, Yeah, I can't be over here in videos with Strizzy while he's looking all swole on me.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I said I've always been able to kind of do it on my own, but just kind of like maintenance, you know what I'm saying? But the last year, one of my boys has been really wanting to kind of change his life, you know what I mean? And he needed it, you know what I mean? So, he went through a couple of things, and he needed someone to help him be, accountable. And it's also helped me hold myself accountable too. So we've really been going like super hard for the last year almost, since last July. So, as much as it's always thanking me, I got to thank him too, because he's really been kind of keeping me and holding myself accountable too. So it's been fun. It's been real.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Cheddar for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being there with my boy. So that's what's up. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do our roundabout. We're going to start with our normal topics. So let's go ahead and kick the show off. What's up next?
Oh, let's check it out, man, real quick.
Tuned to NFL Talk.
Let's get it.
All right, so NFL Talk starting off, and not too much going on for NFL Talk, but one of the big stories since we talked last, Dalvin Cook being released by the Minnesota Vikings. We know running backs just don't have the same shelf life anymore, but Strizzy, what were your thoughts when you saw Dalvin Cook being released?
I was a little surprised. I think this was so much more about just not wanting to repay him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it's coming down to. And I think we're going to start seeing this a lot now. It's like you have these really good running backs and people just really not wanting to pay them. So they'll look for the next person up, right? If they can get a solid offensive line, a lot of times, all these running backs are talented. It's just really about who they're running behind, right? So,
Yeah.
if they can keep the offensive line decent or good, then they'll just plug the next guy up. And if the next guy up, a little bit more cost effective, we're gonna see these running backs bouncing around all over the place, and kind of sucks for them. You know what I mean? Like they're one of the most skilled players in the league. And, you use them a lot for both running and passing, and
Right.
they still make less money than receivers, quarterbacks, obviously. Tight ends gonna catch them soon.
Right. True. And they take all the toll, all the punishment for sure when they're toting the rock.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree. It's already hard times for some of the guys out there. We've seen even Josh Jacobs, as good as he's been, go through some things with the Raiders where he might not last there.
Yep.
Joe Mixon is another guy who the Bengals may or may not pay him, even though he's been great for them.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook. Oh yeah, but I was just thinking too, like I always think about like Zeke and the Cowboys a little bit. He's gonna have a tough time finding a job already, and now if you got people like Cook being released, like dang, that's even tougher for him to try to find a landing spot. Because guys are gonna be out there, guys with big names that have done a lot in this league. So we'll see what happens. Anthony Weston says,
I actually wouldn't mind seeing Zeke in Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, especially because I think like all of Zeke's except for like one of his touchdowns came from like the 1 or 2 yard line last year, right?
Like goal line, like
exactly. So we can get somebody who can just kind of like pile it up, goal line. Miles Sanders can do the rest. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it'd be really cool. And plus, our offensive line has been a lot better than it's been the last couple of years. So
for sure,
I would love to see Zeke in Carolina. I mean, to kind of do exactly what he did for the Cowboys the last 2 seasons. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm telling you, like I think he is like that Jerome Bettis towards the end of his year, or at the end of his career, like still effective, can still do that goal line work, but not going to be the main guy to tilt the rock. So Anthony Weston says he's wanting $10 million a year. Cook, I don't know if he's going to be able to get that in this market.
Yeah,
I feel like like running back position has just really evolved. Like unless you're talking about Derrick Henry nowadays, like nobody else has really lasted like a Frank Gore, like an Adrian Peterson, like. Those guys were just freaks of nature. So
and even Derrick Henry's year last year was not Derrick Henry-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like he's coming back from the injuries, and you're starting to see him probably slow down a little bit. Although the Titans just didn't have a good year in general, but get beat up. You got to find those guys just kind of do it all and don't get beat up as much.
Right, most definitely. Other NFL news: Stephon Diggs. This is kind of an interesting one. Apparently, he was the Bills reported that he wasn't at training camp, or these are voluntary practices at this point. Basically, they said he was not there, and his agent reported that he was there. So apparently, he was at the Bills facility but didn't really participate. I don't know if this is much ado about nothing, but Diggs has been vocal over the years. He's that guy, stay after the game, and after last year's game, was kind of seen getting into it with Josh Allen. But as a pseudo kind of Bills fan, Strizzy, how do you feel about Diggs' situation? You think he would be going anywhere?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think he really likes it there. It's tricky, but he's a competitor, man. Like he's a really, really big competitor. I think unless he's trying to like go somewhere easy, like catch him with like the Bengals or maybe even the Chiefs, because they still don't really have that number 1 receiver, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he has with Josh Allen, and I think with him, he just wasn't getting the ball the way I think he wanted it. You know what I mean? Because he's one of those receivers that's basically like, I don't care how many dudes are on me, just throw it up, I'm gonna go get it. You know what I mean? So
right,
I think that he just frustrated more than anything, but he's a veteran now. You know what I mean? You see a lot of these guys not showing up to those voluntary workouts. If he was in the building, maybe working out with like the trainer or something like that, to me that's still something he could do, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think that's enough for me too. Like if he's just around, you're right. He's a vet. He doesn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
Do want to welcome Stephanie Washington to the show. She says, hey, y'all, watching these Golden Knights bring home the cup. Absolutely. We're definitely going to touch on that. But already we'll give an early update into the first period. It's 2-0, the Golden Knights, and they're up 3-1 in the series. So looking to finish it off. Anthony West says the Diggs situation is looking messy. Would you trade CeeDee Lamb for Diggs? Absolutely not. Even though Diggs is going to be better, maybe like for like 1 year or something, Lamb is kind of our future, and we drafted him, so we have a little bit of a negotiation advantage there too. So
For sure.
CeeDee Lamb, I don't think there would be any reason for us to switch up like that. Unk in the building. Hello from Texas. Welcome, Unk. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it, and we're excited to see you soon too.
Yep. You're in here next week, right?
I think Unk's coming. Pop says no way. Yeah. So I think he would agree with me on that one. One other little thing about NFL talk, nothing too serious here, but something that's kind of interesting is the Jaguars are getting ready to do renovations on their stadium, and to complete them in just the off seasons over the next few years would basically take them like 4 or 5 years to complete, and also like a lot more money. But they're talking about maybe doing the renovations after this upcoming year, but they might have to miss some games at home. And so they're looking into other options of where they could potentially play. And they're talking about the Daytona 500 as a potential spot where you could see a Jaguars game in the future. I just think that would be super dope. This probably won't happen. They'll probably just play like at the University of Florida or some other place nearby, because there are a lot of stadiums in Orlando. Or in that Florida area, I should say. So they'll probably end up playing somewhere else. But I just thought that would be pretty cool if they do that, to see that, because for the Daytona 500, I think that seats like 110,000 people or something crazy like that. So obviously it would be configured differently for football, but that would be something kind of cool to see. So we'll keep an eye on that. But definitely the Jaguars are kind of looking to, they're looking like they're heading in the right direction. They're putting some good stuff on the field, and their new owner, or recently, owner, is definitely putting a lot of money in. So we'll see what happens with them. But other than that, we got a couple more weeks until the actual mandatory training camps open, and we'll be able to see a little bit more of what these teams are looking like. And then we're about, I don't know, I think like 6 weeks away from preseason Hall of Fame game. So it's coming up soon, and once that happens, it's all downhill from there. We'll be definitely entrenched.
Feelings gonna be up and down.
Exactly. We'll be in the breeze with however our teams do, but we know how that goes. So
for sure.
All right, let's go ahead and keep this thing moving, and let's put a bow on the NBA season real quick. All right, NBA talk. Last night was the capper. We have to say congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, world champions for the first time ever, and doing so in pretty dominant fashion, only losing 4 games basically in their 4 playoff series. Strizzy, your Heat, they showed up, you know what I'm saying? At least they didn't get swept like my Lakers did, you know what I'm saying? They got 1 game in there, and they beat Denver at home, which nobody had really done too much. So, but what were your thoughts on the series?
I want to see changes. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I think, a lot of people are basically talking about like, congrats to Heat, they shouldn't have been there. Everyone's talking about how great of a, coach Spo is, which I already knew. Like, just all this stuff, like try to like be positive, and like, which is cool. Like, yeah, like you want to be positive. But like my thing is that like this team has looked the same since the 2020 title run, right? Against the Lakers in the bubble. Not much has ever really changed. I mean, even this roster this year, the only thing we really did was lose PJ Tucker. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand why we didn't, because we put all of our bags in trying to get KD at the beginning of the year, and it didn't happen. Right. But I've been really up and down with Jimmy Butler. Like, it's like I love him, and then other times I'm just like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But I think this kind of solidified it for me, saying I think Jimmy is a really, really, really good player, but he's not the guy you have as your number 1 player, if that makes sense.
Like to take you over the top, like
right. Like I when he's hooping, it's great, right? You love it, you love to see it, the highlights, playoff Jimmy, all this stuff. But I think I've seen too many times where it's like your all-star player that you're expecting him to be can't have games or even series like this. Like you can't have it. Like it's almost almost unfair for me to say, but like it's almost unacceptable, right? You know what I mean? It's like even the Lakers losing the series that they lost, you still see LeBron average 24 on a decent, on 50% shooting. AD, the games that he had really good, he looked great, and the games that he doesn't. But at the same time, like there's only like one game in that I think he didn't play very, very well. But like I really looking at this, and I think that two things. One, I think we should really pull hard for Damian Lillard. I keep talking about we need that point guard, that point guard, that point guard. And 2 years ago when we got Kyle Lowry, I was pissed, right? I was like, this is not what I was talking about when I said we needed the point guard, right? But Dame is that player where, number one, he's a franchise player. He's used to being a franchise player, and he's not afraid at all of the big moments, right? He doesn't shy away from them. That's something that he's not known for, nor he's never been known for. And two, we need to go after some hype. Like you would have thought after getting our butts handed to us by the Lakers in 2020, like we would have gone and got some hype.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Bam, Bam's not a center. You know what I mean? He really is a power forward. So, if we can get a bigger player to kind of clog the paint, be defensive, and let Bam move to the 4 spot, I think that would be, in our best interest. And two, he wouldn't have been the savior, but I think it really, really hurt not having Tyler Hero because, again, going back to just having that player who's not afraid of being in that moment, Tyler Hero is that player for us. You know what I mean? Like, he's not afraid to take those quarters. If we would have gone down, Tyler Hero would have gone down shooting. And I just feel like I was really disappointed in Jimmy in this series, man. Like, I can't say it enough. Like, my disappointment in Jimmy for this series is so elevated. Like, I think he really let everybody who's a Miami Heat fan down. Like, it was bad, dog. Like, it was really bad. And then, when I think they were down by, I want to say 2, and we had the ball, I think there was 1 minute and 11 seconds left, and Jimmy drove, hop step, and then turned the ball over with that super, super weak pass.
Yeah.
I will see it like you just like gave it to him. You know what I mean? It was like, dog, like this was it. And it was, I don't know, it was just really bad. And not to mention too, sorry, I'm rambling, but this is squad. But
yeah, no, you got to.
When we won the Eastern Conference Finals and Bam was trying to hand Jimmy the trophy, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna hold the next one.
Yeah.
And you come and you play like this. Like, dog, it's taken everything in me to not like just blow Jimmy up on Twitter, like tagging him and everything, like all that shit. And like, this is how you played, like, unacceptable, bro. So obviously I don't want him to go anywhere. He's a great player. I think he fits Miami's culture. But I think we really need that player. I honestly think if we can get the point guard that we need, like Dame, I almost think Jimmy takes the 3rd spot, and I think we use Bam as number 2 because when we ran things through Bam, we were very successful.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of the things. It was. I'm okay with losing. I just wasn't okay with how we played in the losses. You know what I'm saying? It was like looked so good all postseason, and then we put the game together like this, and it wasn't even honestly like Denver did anything crazy.
They stayed true to form basically.
They really did. Yeah. And then when you watch game 2, we took advantage of Joker's defensive inabilities, right? He's really slow, dog. Like, he's a very slow player, and we never went back to that. So it was just really frustrating kind of watching the rest of the 3 games play out and kind of watching us go down like that. I would have been much better okay with it if we would have went down more competitively. I just feel like we didn't.
Yeah, I feel you, and I get what you're saying too. As far as like, it doesn't really help anything to say, "Oh, we shouldn't have been there anyways." Like, okay, but you were like, let's do something. But I want to jump in here real quick. Pop said exactly. Strizzy Butler didn't take over, dominate the way true number ones do. Great player, and I love him, but he needs a Batman.
Exactly. Sucks to say because I love him to death, but facts, Pops.
Yeah. Anthony West says he seemed to go out the same way the Lakers did. I don't think Denver was that dominant. A few plays here and there is what separated both series. Yeah. I mean, I can see that for sure. It's not that they were like, I think that they were really good and stout. And it was more like when we would see the Spurs win, where it's like they're not going to beat themselves. Like, they're going to do what they need to do. and you're gonna have to take it to them, or you're gonna have to kind of rise above that. And they played consistently all year. They did their thing, and I am happy for KCP for sure. I still mess with him. It's Georgia boy and everything. So I was happy for him, and I'm happy for Jokic. But I wanted to ask you too. Did you see after they're like asking like if he's looking forward to the parade? He's like, when is parade? And he's like, I want to go home. He's like, I need to go home. He's like, I'm trying to get home.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which it just goes to show too, like where his mindset is at too. He's like, look, like I'm trying to get back to my country. Like I had an extra like 2 months almost because of the playoff run. Like, I'm just trying to get back with my family. I'm not trying to go to the parade. So, but I'm sure he'll still probably be there. I'm sure part of his contract says that he has to be there.
True. I will say this. I will say this though, and this is part of the hater in me, but like Joker gets away with mad offensive fouls though, dog. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Some of it was just too bad. It was like, bro, this is getting to be ridiculous. Like it's so bad. But I mean, he's a monster, man. He played so well throughout the entire playoffs. Hats off to them. They got a real squad. You know what I'm saying for some seasons. You know what I'm saying. I think a couple of those dudes are not making a ton of money. So as long as they keep the squad together and everyone's willing to take a little bit of a pay cut, they're solid for the next couple of years. That's a really young team. So shouts out to them, though, man. They dominated the entire playoffs. You know what I'm saying. It wasn't just this series; it was the entire series all the way.
For sure. Well, and actually, all year they were one of the better teams. I think one of the knocks against them was their history, and we're just like, but we'll see. Can they really do that?
Exactly.
But they definitely did it, and definitely getting Aaron Gordon, like that kind of like that was another piece where we said when he went there, like, dang, that could be something different. So shout out to them. But Pops says Denver is dominant and got the right last piece in Gordon. Oh, okay, and they trade they should keep them competitive. Yes, and they did make a rare trade. They made a trade during the NBA Finals for additional draft picks, which is something I definitely want to kind of move into too. Is we're going to talk about the draft here in a second that's coming up. But I think Unk also we'll get to Unk's too in a second. He's got a bunch of different predictions. So we'll run through all of them and say them out loud, so that way we can come back to this later and see what his shooting percentage was, if you will. Anthony West says Lakers needed anything out of D'Angelo Russell's in that series different. I definitely think so too. And Unk responded he's going to be traded for a Happy Meal without the toy. That's messed up. No toy. I don't get down like that. Also, though, shout out, I do want to get the Grimace meal. I don't know if you've seen that.
I seen that. Yeah, I was trying to get that too. I seen that earlier. Yeah.
I gotta do a video on that. So, but all right, but that was the finals, and we'll say one last goodbye to Jimmy real quick. You let us down, Jimmy. And then we'll move into some talk. Now, we already know that the Raptors are the last team without a head coach, but now they are going to be without their all-star guard, Fred VanVleet. He is opting out, and speculation is that he'll probably end up in Philadelphia with his ex-coach Nick Nurse. Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of Philadelphia, we got James Harden, who is expected to opt out of his contract. It seems that there are a few different teams interested in him, but he wants to go back to Houston. And apparently there was some kind of a secret agreement when he left Houston that, hey, if I ever get the chance to kind of come back, I still like you guys, and I'm still like kind of loyal. And that's where he was drafted. So that's where he kind of grew up and kind of hit the scene, because when he went to ASU, he was not highly touted. He was not highly drafted. Oh no, I'm sorry. He went to Oklahoma City Thunder. My bad. That's where he grew up. But then Houston is a chance that he got to really get paid and become like his own guy, I guess.
Yeah, that's his own person. Yeah, they'll take a chance on him.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We might see him back there. I was just gonna look and see.
Did you see what Doc Rivers said about Harden?
No, tell me.
Yeah, so I guess Doc Rivers was asked about Harden, and he had mentioned that he was a difficult player to coach.
Oh.
I was like, dang, Doc Rivers just stayed throwing people under the bus.
Right. Like, as soon as he knows they're out the door, he's like got all the excuses.
For real. But yeah, he said he was a difficult player to because he was saying like his style of play like doesn't win, it's been proven to like not win like championships, and he was trying to get him to play a certain way and he didn't really want to do it. But I was like, don't get me wrong, what Doc said was accurate, but like sometimes it's just like, dog, you just stay throwing dudes under the bus. Like You know what I mean? You could have just as easily said something totally different, but no, he was
Or what are
like,
you gonna say? Like, I need to coach better. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
should have
for
got more out
sure.
of him.
No, he took no accountability, none.
Yeah, he never does. Pop says Sixers will sign Van Fleet if Harden opts out, praying he leaves good riddance. Won't trade for Levine. Bulls asking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Earlier he said Zach Levine to Philadelphia as one of his. But yeah, they are asking a lot.
I don't think he fits Philly. Well, I guess they got a new coach, so they probably do something to work. But I don't.
True.
I don't know if I actually do like Van Fleet a little bit more there than I do Zach Levine.
Yeah, I do too. Because and especially going with the new coach. So,
Mm-hmm.
we did talk about the draft too. So that'll be coming up, and Victor Wembanyama is expected to be the number one pick. We're pretty darn sure. But
Yeah.
that's going to happen next Thursday. And you see the wingspan on the kid. He did. He is going to be interesting to see. I think he's going to be a different type of player. But I think it might take him a while to kind of get used to the strength. I feel like in the NBA.
For sure. Not to mention, he gets away with being able to kind of point guard a little bit in the G League and stuff, and over and playing Europe ball. He's not going to do that in San Antonio. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
the
saying?
defense is
So,
going to be the
yeah,
defense is going to be a lot better too, and he won't be able to do that. You're right; he won't handle the ball like that. So
yeah,
we'll see. But that happens next Thursday, and then if he is drafted by the Spurs, he will make his debut really soon because the Spurs are going to be playing in the Sacramento Summer League, which is a little bit before the Vegas one. And then the Vegas Summer League is starting July 7th, so it will be
yeah.
coming up on basketball again for all those rookies and those draftees and those young players. But just to show you real quick too, Wimbyam, I like this picture because there you see Rudy Gobert, who is an All-Pro, ex-Defensive Player of the Year, and he's standing next to Wembanyama, and just the young kid is just so big.
I know.
So he's definitely gonna grow into that body a little bit more, and we'll see what he can do. But I'm hoping he's a beast, man. I think he's gonna be something to watch for sure.
Me too. He's got talent, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So Anthony Weston says Brandon Miller will be number 2. MJ always gets the number 2 pick in the draft. Yeah, we'll see. I think probably though. I do think that will be it. And
somehow he'll still mess it up.
Right. I know. I think he's still going to be taking a step back. We'll have to talk about that a little bit more this summer. But let me run through these predictions from Unc real quick. Damian Lillard to Miami. Malcolm Brogdon to Phoenix. Jaylen Brown to Milwaukee. Chris Paul to Charlotte. Zach LaVine to Philadelphia. Chris Middleton to Boston. Russell Westbrook to New Orleans. And James Harden to Houston. All right, so we'll have to go back and see which of those might come true. But Unc is all over the waiver wire, all over the interwebs, doing that deep search to try to figure out what's going on for us. So we'll see. But appreciate that. And we'll go ahead and keep it moving on this. Lastly here, Anthony West says Chet Holmgren coming back too.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. That's going to be fun to watch too. I know it was kind of the same story for him. I felt like he's going to just have to get used to that, like size and strength he's going to go up against at that next level. So we'll see. All right. So anything else you want to say before we move on away from basketball?
No, man. Like I said, we're in these dark times coming for sports. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta hold out till like October-ish. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be back soon enough. It was cool though. I do want to say real quick, actually, now that I see this picture again, Jokic's daughter was pretty G. Like she was super cool, like throughout the whole thing at the end, like with all the people around. But she was pretty cool. But it looked like she just wanted to go home too, man. She was just like her daddy. She's like, I just want to go home. But that's what's up. But one more time, shout out to the Denver Nuggets, and we'll be bringing all the offseason news until we kick things off in October again. All right. Moving on, other sports. This is the next league that we'll be saying goodbye to, and we won't be able to do it officially together here, but the Knights are up 3-1 on Florida, and in tonight's game, they are playing right now to go for the clincher. And let me see what the score is now. If it's 2-1 now in the second period, so we'll see. But I'm expecting the Knights to handle business and try to clinch this thing before we get together again next Tuesday. So I won't say a premature congratulations. I don't want to jinx them, but I will say go Knights. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that they make it happen real quick. So that's what's up with that. Some other sports news we're going to talk about is Messi joining Inter Miami this summer, making the move to the MLS. We didn't get a chance to talk about this at all last week. I know Anthony Weston is a big fan, so I wanted to get his take on it. But I was just going to throw my thing out there as a soccer fan. Um, People are comparing this to when David Beckham came to the LA Galaxy, right? And I get that, but this is so different. Just because of the time that has passed, like, and how much soccer has grown in the US since then.
Yeah.
And the fact that Messi is, debatably, arguably, some say number one, some say number two, but we're talking best active players in the world.
For real.
When David Beckham came, it was because he was fading in the Premier League a little bit more, and this was his retirement plan.
This is like publicity stunt.
Right. And at the time, the MLS paid him and broke him off a lot of money and gave him the option to buy an MLS team for very cheap. So there was a lot of business negotiations with that too, which I assume there might be some here with Messi, but the difference is Messi still has game. This is a retirement plan for him, but he's doing the early retirement. He's going to get well paid. He has a luxury apartment condo, a building in Miami, so he's going to be well taken care of. We'll see if the English language barrier becomes an issue, because I don't know if a lot of people realize that he doesn't really speak very good English.
Yeah.
But I still think he will love it here. And being in Miami, that's the perfect place to not speak English anyways.
Sure is.
So I just want to say I am excited to see, and it's going to be, their prices went crazy. His shirt's already sold out. So this is definitely going to be a big thing for the MLS, and we'll see how this move kind of progresses things and how it gets the attention of the soccer world, because they don't really take MLS too seriously, and for good reason, but maybe this will start to change things. So we'll see. Anthony West says, I've already had an Inter Miami jersey from their first season. I got it 2 years ago, and little did I know. See, you're already ready, man. That's what's up. We'll just change the name on the back if there is one, and we'll just add a name to the back.
Just cross it out.
He said if it weren't for Messi going to the city of Miami, it would be depressing on the sports scene, the Heat and the Panthers. Oh yeah, for sure. True. They got, two teams into the championship and are going down.
Both of them going down.
Unk said I purchased a Messi card graded at 10, got a good deal on the purchase. That's what's up. Definitely hold on to that, Unk. And one of these days we're gonna have to go and see Unk's collection, man. We're gonna have to go into the vault, you know what I'm saying? See all the good stuff he keeps hitting. But that's what's up. So we'll watch that one. But shout out to Messi and Inter Miami making that happen. A couple more things here. We got some golf news. Rory, he says this was after we talked last week, because last week was the day of the merger or the announcement of the pending merger between LIV and PGA. Since then, some different things have happened. Rory's saying, I still hate LIV and I hope it goes away. I don't think it'll be going away, but we'll see. There is some government scrutiny, I guess, on the deal, and apparently there's some government agencies that are going to be looking into the deal too. So we'll see. I guess it's still pending some review, but those wheels will be greased too. You know what I'm saying? They'll have their money taken in somewhere too. So
I feel like it's funny, man. I feel like Rory had to say that, right? He can't just come out and be like, no, okay, I guess it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like he
went too far gone.
Yeah, he got to keep that same energy all the way through. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And honestly, he's not the one that was involved with the deal. So it is really like the PGA's leadership that was the hypocrites. And a lot of the players do feel like they were kind of I don't know, like betrayed or kind of undermined with the whole thing, because they showed their loyalty, and then this happened anyway. So we'll see. But it's funny, interesting too. Phil Mickelson. So we know he was big part of LIV the first season, kind of getting things going, and he has his own team, the High Flyers. And so it's interesting. A couple of days after the PGA announces they're going to merge with LIV, an apparel company comes out and is suing the High Flyers and suing LIV Golf, and in kind of in attachment, if you will, the PGA as well, for this logo infringement. So on the top right, you see the High Flyers logo. It's kind of like an H with the two Fs. and then at the bottom you see the Fallen logo. So I think they might have a claim here. What do you think? Like the bottom part of the Fallen logo being the original? I think that's pretty close.
Yeah, so so I've actually been learning a lot of stuff like this in regards to just like because I've been thinking
We
about
need to be learning this stuff.
so I've actually I've been thinking about starting an apparel company with Cheddar actually too. I'm always thinking about how we can make money, and so you're looking at these different logos and things of that nature, and a lot of things go into like so deep into like the actual kind of like dimensions of the design.
Right,
So
like the angle, like it's
exactly.
at
So
this
like
degree
you see
angle,
the bottom of the
reflective.
F, yeah,
Yeah,
like, if it matches, an inch and a quarter, and the Fallen's an inch and a quarter. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff plays a huge role. They might be able to get away with just the fact that it's thicker, it's fatter. The dip between the F's is a lot wider.
right,
It
like
goes
the
down
age
deeper.
wider.
It's crazy, man. Like it's crazy. So it just depends on like what judge and jury if they get a jury you get. You know what I mean? Some might say no, it's close. It's too close, and others might say no, they changed it just enough. You just don't know.
Right, right. Yeah, I think this will be interesting, but definitely the funniest part about it to me is the timing of it. The fact
Yeah,
that like, okay, now there's even more pockets behind this. Now there's even more at stake. Now we'll strike with this publicity.
just get the
Um,
money.
Yeah, but also too the fact that the apparel part of it, right? Because this is an apparel company. If they were to use their logo like only on like golf flags or like on their bags or something, maybe it would be different. But they're using it on the hat, they're using it on the polo from far away.
Yep.
You might mistake that for the other company. So
Oh yeah.
so that's an interesting thing. But we'll continue to see what happens with the golf world. But man, it's always drama lately. And we barely ever have to talk about who's winning tournaments because there's always something off the course going on
For real.
with golf. But let's keep this thing moving. A couple more things here. We got to give a shout out to Oklahoma softball women's. We talked about them, and I did want to. They were going for the three-peat. They did complete it. They finished the season with a 61-1 record, which is just insane. And they finished the season on a 53-game win streak. So. Shout out to them, man. They got the secret sauce in softball.
Yeah, no, they've been killing it. I haven't really been like following them, but because I'm an OU football fan, I kind of keep it track a little bit.
Mhm.
Like, no, they be killing people, dog. Like,
yeah, it's like bad.
yeah, they're monsters
Mercy
in the
rule.
softball game.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely wanted to give a shout out to them real quick. One other thing is Novak Djokovic. He finished the French Open.
Yep.
So now he ran up his record. He's got 23 men's single titles or Grand Slam singles titles. So that is a record. He always him and Nadal basically like he tying the record, breaking the record back and forth.
Yeah.
But
he holds it currently. He passed Nadal by one now.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if that might be the clincher for a while. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else takes it, but it's just funny because you look back like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, like that's the only guys that have won for the past like 15 years. It seems like so.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw a picture. It was Djokovic, I think, Nadal, and man, I can't remember if it was Federer or what's other dude's name? I'm drawing a blank.
But just
another tennis player. I'm another great tennis player. But I'm drawing a blank on his name though. It'll probably pop in my head. But it was like three of them, and it was like 63 Grand Slams between the three of them. It was crazy. I was like, that's nuts, man.
It probably was Federer.
Yeah,
those the three are. I mean, they all I think have 20 at least. So
yeah, it probably was. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like 63, like just between just them three.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Yeah, nobody else has won like more than like a handful, but I think that's starting to change though. We got that Alcaraz guy that's coming up, so
yeah,
I think that is starting to change, and they are getting older. We'll see how far the nanotechnology takes takes our boys. So we'll see. But we didn't hear anything more about that either.
True.
But I mean, I don't know, man. if it really is working, I'm gonna get me some. Start
You feel me?
something.
Put them on my knees, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to be like Iron Man. So, but that's what's up. That's it for our regularly scheduled programming. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about Slack 200, and again, and say thank you for everybody that supports us week to week, and kind of talk about a little bit of our plans for the 200th episode. So, we did put out a Instagram reel that goes through it, and that is the post that you need to interact with in order to win our giveaway. We're giving away a $50 Nike gift card, and basically you just have to like the post, follow the page, and then tag 2 friends to have an entry. And then you also will get a bonus entry if you follow our YouTube page, or you follow my YouTube page, or you follow Strizzy's YouTube page. So that's how you can get some bonus ones in there too. And what else are we gonna do, Strizzy, for the 200th episode?
Yeah, man. So we got the Slack bingo. So we definitely want everyone to kind of get involved with that. So we'll get the bingo cards going. So that and I don't think we decided what we want to do yet. We want to kind of like put out some maybe we'll do some call outs during the show, right? I'm thinking that we'll do that. So you have to be watching to win. And then also we're doing another just like you said, like everything we're doing for that's another Nike gift card too. So man, win some money towards some new kicks, or even just some Nike apparel. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, come through. We're trying to make this as special as possible, man. 200 weeks in a row. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that it's not just our 200th episode. Like, we haven't missed a Tuesday in 200 weeks, man. Like, it's a long time. You know what I mean? That's damn near 4 years. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy, man. So I'm very proud of us. You know what I mean? Like, just from when we set out to do this at our job's parking lot, and we've stuck to it, and we don't keep going, we don't keep grinding, man. The thing's gonna grow. It's gonna be really, really big someday. So we're not gonna forget about everybody who stuck with us in the beginning. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. So no, that's what's up. Yeah, man. I echo that sentiment, man. It's cool that we've had that commitment to it, and life happens, but we've always said we're gonna get together and we're gonna make this happen. So also just seeing our Slackers week to week, and then growing in those relationships with you guys is super rewarding. So we always want to make you guys a part of it, and thank you guys for being here with us. So the Slack bingo, yeah. What I'm thinking is the bingo cards, though, they might just have phrases that we say a lot, or athletes' names, or team names. And then basically, as the show goes, if you hear us say it over the airwaves, basically, or during the show, that goes on your card, and then whoever gets bingo first, boom, they'll get the gift card, or they'll win the secondary prize. So that's what's up. We also are going to do it together. Yeah, like you were mentioning, if anybody wants to come out and join us, we have an undisclosed location, but you can RSVP, and we'll let you know where it's at. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, though, so that's one of the requirements. And we apologize for that. But one of these days we'll get out on the road, and we'll be checking out some of our people. I know for sure too. So, but that'll be exciting, and we're going to have some food and drinks there for the show during the show too. If you guys want to come out and enjoy in person with us, we would love to have like a little studio audience type of thing. So
heck yeah,
that's what's up. Pops mentioned Amanda Nunez, and I should have put her picture on there. Let me see if I can.
I'm mad I forgot about her because that's my girl, dog. Like she's like the one of the few like female UFC fighters that I like. When she's fighting, I'm always there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And she retired after her fight this weekend.
Yeah.
So that'll be the last for her. And I'm sorry, my thing keeps going crazy. But let me see if I can put this up for Pops real quick. Because this is what I think he wanted to see. So let me show this real quick. I always think this is really cool too. So this was after, but like when wrestlers when they retire, they'll come and they'll take their equipment off or whatever, and they'll put it in the middle of the ring, and that's how they kind of show respect, and that's how they exit the ring for the last time.
Yeah.
So this is the picture of Amanda Nunez doing that this weekend as she retired. And kind of once you do that too, sometimes people be like, oh, I'm out, this or that. But especially for like wrestlers or people that started with the wrestling background, that's very like significant. It's almost like a like a ceremony kind of thing. So you can see the emotion on her face as she says goodbye. But definitely a dominant UFC fighter. So we definitely have to give kudos to her for her career. So
yeah, man, she was a monster.
Yes, most definitely. All right, so we did that. Anthony West says crazy. It's been 200. Yeah, it is insane. Like that, it's been so long, but it's really cool because it also has flown by like in a flash. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's cool too because this is episode 200. But I think in September we're gonna celebrate. That'll be our 4-year anniversary. So we'll celebrate the 4 years too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get a chance to do another celebration here in a little bit. Grace says I'm excited for it. Kudos to you guys. Thank you so much, Grace. We appreciate your support too, and I know that you already have some tasks for this upcoming show. So thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for helping us throw.
Thank you for real.
Episode 200. Unk says, is Ethan Salas any good? 16-year-old signed by the Padres. So yes, he is good. We looked at him. I checked him out a little bit. He's definitely young, and it looks like he'll everybody takes their time coming up, and having to go through the ranks. But at 16, he's gonna have a good head start. So we'll see. But I was gonna see though where he's from. I'm like, man, he might not be 16. We have to double check his birth certificate. You know what I'm saying? That was the crazy thing in baseball though. Sometimes guys would come over from like Venezuela or certain places, and all of a sudden they'd be like a 16-year-old phenom when they're really like 19 or 20. But I'm just messing around. I think he's young, but he is good. So definitely keep that card. And then you got your boy, the new kid from Cincinnati though. What do you think of him?
That is good, man. Like they're already he's what I mean. I think the Reds are they struggle to get runs, but when they get runs, they look like one of the best teams out there. But that kid's gonna be nice. Like I think he's gonna be really really nice, man. He's gonna be so he's out there killing it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good, and also I just like that he's bringing excitement.
Yeah.
I mean that's what it's all about. Like that's what baseball really needs. And I think that's what kind of Ohtani's brought a little bit too. It's just the excitement to be like, man, just be different, I did want to talk about this one though too. Anthony Weston says, "How about Floyd Mayweather?" I forgot to put this on there. So Floyd Mayweather had an exhibition against John Gotti III in Miami, Florida this weekend, and Gotti was he was disqualified, but basically because like punching below the belt, and also like he kept grabbing and like twisting and like doing like little rabbit punches and stuff like that. So he wasn't listening to the instruction. He got disqualified. Then he like goes like around the ref and starts swinging on Mayweather as Mayweather kind of retreats, and Mayweather actually landed like 2 counter blows on him as he's retreating. And then John Gotti, after the second left hook that he caught during this little skirmish, starts backing up. And by that time, like 12 seconds, like 4 seconds, I don't know how long it was, but it was very quick. Mayweather's squad of linemen are in the ring to protect him, and a kind of a skirmish breaks out. And honestly, I don't know. I guess like at first I almost thought this was planned because I was like, is this like just some drama because people would want to see that? But then I heard that apparently, then I heard about this too. It's like more serious nature that there's allegations that his family, John Gotti's family, has actually been sending threats to Floyd Mayweather's daughter, and there's like all this like back and forth that's happening as a result of this skirmish. So I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really like the spectacle aspect of things when we're talking about Floyd, because I I'm saying, like, me, I consider him one of the greatest, if not the greatest boxer ever.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't need to be doing stuff like this, but I get it because he can still make a lot of money and he still gets paid a lot of money to appear in these type of things. But it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't want to see like Michael Jordan, like maybe like 5-10 years after he retired, like playing with the Harlem Globetrotters or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like that doesn't make sense. Like you've done it at the highest level. Like why are you doing this? But we'll see if anything comes of this. Hopefully everybody stays safe. Hopefully they can settle down about it. And also there was a skirmish backstage too after the fight. So I don't know, Yeah, Anthony West says MJ at the big three. Exactly. Like if you've reached that level, like no disrespect to those guys that played in the big three, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Gray says that's why they shouldn't have these fake fights for money. Exactly, because people are gonna get hyped up for real and want to fight for real.
Yeah.
And I get though Mayweather's crew because they're like, that's our money ticket. Like you ain't coming here, like you ain't gonna do nothing crazy. So, but yeah, they shouldn't have these fake fights for money. Like I don't get it. And the people that pay for it, like I get it, but you're still, it's not like you're seeing Mayweather fight. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same. So
and it's not like he's gonna win anyway. He was getting tore up in that fight.
Yeah.
You watched the fight?
No, I didn't see.
Yeah, Mayweather was tearing it. Mayweather was tearing his ass up. Like it's
yeah. I mean, I assumed that Mayweather's just out there like basically just skipping around him and dancing and just doing little things here and there. But that's why I didn't understand. It's like, but he just wanted to do some damage, and that's why he wasn't following the rules and kept trying to grapple and punch him in close and all that stuff. But yeah, so thank you, Anthony, for reminding us about that. Thank you, Pops, for reminding us about Amanda Nunez. We're gonna get our fight game back strong because that's one thing that's gonna continue through the summer. We got Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence to look forward to too. So we'll be hitting the fight game heavy, and also maybe having some guests back on too. We want to get back into that as well. So definitely a lot to look forward to. But the most immediate thing, that episode 200, please tag a friend. Just share it out, and let people know. And who knows, we'll maybe be able to build our sports family here and keep this thing going. So definitely. So that's what's up. Anything else, Trizzy, though, that we missed or that you wanted to touch on before we say goodbye?
No, man, I think that's pretty much everything, man. I'm glad we hit the 200 episode post, so we get everybody involved in the sharing. But I think that's it, man.
All right, that's what's up. Well, we'll cap it off by saying a big shout out to our brother Mad Marcus. He's out there handling business, and we love him very much. And we know that his time is very precious, so we can't always hog it up. And that's okay. But we do definitely want to give him a shout out and hope he's having a beautiful Taco Tuesday. But until next time, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Striz.
Peace.